I hit something. Probably the right thing, huh? Yep, actually live. Didn't even mean to hit it. So it's gonna work without the. You know what? I've been doing this every single night. You can hear me. Okay, this is gonna be recorded. I hit this early, and I always have to get this thing started. I didn't even do it tonight. I just hit start, and there it is. So I'm gonna actually turn this sound. Let me see if I can get John Coltrane double thing started. I didn't even do it tonight. I just hit it. That's weird. Anyway, hi you guys, it's Denise Cooper. It is 6 p.m. and I am here on time. Actually, it was a little early. So I'm going to turn Johnny down. Kind of want to keep him on tonight. Just kind of do. Then the commercials will come on because I'm playing it off of YouTube. Although I've got the CD. Dun, dun, dun. Alright, so it's something's very weird. I hit start streaming on the little app that I use to stream and go live, and I didn't even get the information from YouTube to put in the app like I normally do every single time I go live. I forgot that little step. I actually didn't forget. I hit copy and I was getting ready to paste it, and I hit start and I was like, okay, and then the light turned green and I'm on. Go figure. So I don't know, maybe that happens. Maybe it's from last night's little code. And now I can see that I'm froze. And I can see myself talking now. So we might have some lag and some technical difficulties. I don't know why I can't say that word. It's technical difficulty saying technical difficulty. How about that little problem? How about that? So anyway, this is Denise Cooper. This is Booktube Live. This is Sunday. This is supposed to be my Sunday Fun Day Chill Day. Although it's always Sunday Fun Day Chill Day in my head. Anyway, we're going to talk about all kind of things. And like we always do, I have some things that I do want to discuss. Like I have a stack of library stuff in front of me and to the left of me. And my current read is still in my little boom box. We're going to talk about the Bookpage. And I think I showed it when I first got it because this is the February 2018 version. And we're going to take a look at this on Sunday, which is today, to see if there are any recommendations in this one. And I didn't thumb through it and pick out anything because I've been busy actually creating some earrings and trying to fulfill some earring orders. And it actually took me all day. Like, I had fun doing it. I try to do, like, if somebody orders one, then I make 2 pair to give them a choice, or, you know, and just keep going and to keep, I don't know, that's just what I do. Like, and I used to do that for art. Like if somebody commissions me and, you know, they pay their money and I go, and I know their idea or what they want, and I would do 2 paintings to tell them, you know, to show them, so I can kind of be free on one, and then kind of what they wanted was still in the free one, but then more of what they wanted on, you know, the one that they were going to buy. And sometimes they'd buy the one that I, you know, just went free with and whatever, and what have you. So anyway, we're going to talk about the Bookpage and look at some February Black History Month book reviews and recommendations, actually. And Christine Hanna is on the front page. Love Books is on here. Love and Liaisons. I'll tell you, they got a lot of love. I think the first time I talked about the Bookpage years ago when I was doing this every single month, and I'm back to doing it every single month, but not as in depth because the recommendations are slim compared to what I'm reading this year for the Blackout. However, it is February, it is Black History Month, so I know that when I open this up, there's going to be a section for Black History Month, so we'll take a look at those suggestions. Hello, Kidney. Hello, KT. Hello, Alicia, Pretty Brown-Eyed Reader. Hello, Onyx Pages. Rebecca. Hi, Angela. Hi, Denise Rader. Hi, Stephen Massey. Hello to the masses. Hello, Patricia. Hello. Lisa, hello. Stevie, hello. All right, so I'm still kind of just listening to Johnny and was warming up because I did hit it early, but 4 minutes in, so I'm going to keep on talking. But I do want to show this tonight. We'll go over that because I don't want to get too lost, and so I won't be doing that and rehashing it next week. But I got a stack of stuff, and I'm going to be going through some things. I'm going to be going to the library tomorrow for the sole purpose of taking back some things. Now, to piggyback on that book anxiety that we talked about last night, and I still haven't changed the title because I didn't mean to hit it that soon. But you guys know how I do. I changed the title right in the midst of the live. Hello, let me see who's here. Hi, Kia Danae. Hi, Phyllis Rhodes. Hi, Denise. She says, hello, Denise. She says, hi, pretty bright-eyed Rita. Hi, everyone. She says, hello, Kia Danae says to everyone. With a hand clap. Is that the soul clap? All right, I'm going to turn, actually pause Johnny so that I won't have to feel like I'm talking loud. DJ is in there asleep, getting ready for his night job. And, there we go. Now let me get you guys back. There we go. So I got you guys back, and then I also went to my Goodreads and my email because I'll be talking about, I'm not going to read her email to me, but I do want to talk about, I'll read the synopsis for an independent writer who I looked her up on Amazon and also on Goodreads, and she's on both. So there's a place to purchase her book and also take a look at to see if there are any reviews. I don't think I found any reviews on her book, and so we'll talk about that. I've got it pulled up. Yay, gonna get some organization. So anyway, still I got one more CD, I think. Yeah, one more CD of the Cartel #4. And yeah, because I'm on Cartel #5, which is the empty space, and Cartel #6 is the last one, the last CD in the bunch. So that's where I'm at with the Cartel #4. And Mecca, Twin, Monroe, and that's all I'm going to say. Oh my gosh, you can't even say that. You can't even talk about these characters because you don't know who's dead or alive. That's all I'm saying. Because something's happening. Something is going down and in a big major way. And right now, somebody been kidnapped. It's just like constant. And like even today I was in there sewing, making these earrings, right? And I'm listening to the Cartel. I took my little boombox in there so I could sew. And I just made one little non-talking video for my other channel. And you guys, I'm sewing and putting stuff together, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to listen to Cartel #5. They are not going to just, leave me hanging, whatever. So yeah, I haven't gotten any physical book completed for last week because today is Sunday. It's the beginning of a new week. My other painting is still sitting up there. So this will be start of the third week that it's been up there. Oh my gosh, I'm so behind. But actually, I'm enjoying the process of just staring at it and doing the feathers and the detail. And I'm going to do more detail because I want something on the ground on that green grass because it's just bland, which I totally love. But the thing is, I want to actually enjoy it being just this blank, space kind of with a green background for the ground before I start putting up little grass and maybe flowers or leaves or what have you. And I'm enjoying it in that, just in that place right there. So anyway, I'm going to be taking some things back. So we're going to get that out of the way. But what I want to also do tonight is read from, I have 2 different stacks, and I want you guys to weigh in. I'm going to read just a little snippet. I don't even know what part of the books I'm going to read from. I'm just going to pick a paragraph out of the 2 different stacks. I'll read one, like paragraph A or book A, and book B. Book A will be the big publishing house writers, and the second one will be from the independent writers. But I'm not going to tell you which A or B or whatever. I'll just pick up one, and at that time you pick A or pick B if you want to play along, because I kind of want to figure out because sometimes people don't pick up independent writers because they've picked up an independent writer and the book was not well written. There's so many editing issues. Um, there's the plot was not there or non-existent, or it was too much like something else and it's just a retelling of this, a retelling of that, and oh, I've heard this story, there's nothing new here. Like the Cartel, I mean, all kind of stories like this with the whatever. But this one is, I don't read a lot of that genre, but I love this one because it's just constant something happening. And like we were talking about last night, there's this soap opera effect where they're resurrecting people that you just were mad that they like, why did they kill this person? Why did they have to die off? Who's left in the family? What's going on? And you know, this person shouldn't be in charge, and then they're not, and then they are. It's just a lot going on. So that keeps you interested in going. Obviously, I'm up to number 4 when I was only supposed to be reading Cartel number 1 for January because the book club that I belong to chose that book. They're on to other stuff. Now, the owner of the Doc Bookshop, she was up to number 6 when I went to that, when me and Angela went to the Doc Bookshop last weekend, right? She was up to number 6. I'm sure she's already read number 7 because if I'm already on number 4 when I was there, I think I was on number 2. So I'm already on number 4 and I'm on the last CD. Oh, honey, CD 5 is going in tonight. And so I should be finished with that this week. If I don't read any physical books, I'm good. I just need to get this done and out of my system. I'm like, that's how it gets you. It's like, now it's violent. It's, you know, because I keep seeing people like in the comments, you make me want to get the Cartel. You make me want to read the Cartel. I'm just saying, beware because the Cartel is very graphic. It is violent. It is sexual. So if you are a prude and or you think that's just going to mess with you, I'm not trying to call anybody a prude because, you know, some of the stuff could be like, oh Lord, let me turn that down because DJ is home. But if you're gay, anyway, I'm just saying, you know, just be careful. I wouldn't recommend that to somebody that was really trying to walk a straight and narrow Christian path. I'm just going to tell you right now, do not read it. Do not listen to it. But I'm telling you, just for me and anybody else who wants to read it ain't going to mess with you. The audio, remember you guys, I told you it has sound effects. You can hear the gunfire. You can hear cars pulling up, grabbing folks. You can hear babies crying in the background. You can hear, you know, when there's this element of like the Wesley Snipes movie, you know, when they were all around the big table and they all were dressed in black. And there's that scene in this book, but it's so cool because it's an audiobook and it's one narrator. Then they go around the table and everybody goes to the Cartel. So it's a whole group of people like, this is like theater. So I would recommend the audiobooks to anybody that wants to read it and you're not going to be offended by this type of literature, which is urban literature, I believe, gangster lit or whatever you want to call it. It's literature and they're talking about a crime family in Miami. And so a lot of, you know, street wars going on. So everybody's packing, women included, and some of the women are just as bad as the men as far as meaning because they say that in the book, so it's not me saying, oh, women can't be as bad as men, nothing like that. That's, you know, this one young lady and the book is pretty bad behind, that's all I'm saying. So anyway, so basically I've got my stack and I'm just going to quickly show you guys what I'm going to take back. And for those of you who are not here every single Saturday or Sunday or even during the middle of the week, if I put up a video showing you guys what I got from the library, I'm going to quickly show those because people do like flashes of books. I know I like that. So I'll be doing that. And hi, Rebecca. She says, hi, Denise. Hi, Keisha Forsaken. Haha, the Cartel is taking over your life, most def, because it's almost like I have to just get it done. I mean, if I was reading a 400-page book, I'd be done. And this is just dragging on. But it's not dragging on in a slow way. It's very progressively fast. And it's like I said, it's 6 CDs for each book so far. The second one, the third one, now the fourth one. Because remember, I read the physical book. And the physical book was a short, compact, you know, the mass little paperback books. And it was 350 something pages or whatever. And so I read that one. And then the three books, same narrator, which is a good thing, because I would have been kind of teed off if they would be switching up. I would have been, nah, we're not going to do that. We want the same person and the same sound effects. So it's the same production, and that's very smart and good and good taste. So yes, it's taken over my TBR currently because it's got to be finished. I'm not going to be getting on into March with this mess. No. And I thought about it. I thought, well, I want to go get another physical book, but this is just fun. It's fun listening to. So with all the sound effects and so, and then Angela D says, hello. Rebecca says, I love that you are loving it. Better not take it to work. Well, remember, I took the physical book to work and I was kind of like doing like this, turning pages, because I was like, oh my gosh, I hope nobody walks up behind me and, you know, kind of peers over my shoulder and looks at what I'm reading, because whoo, it was some pretty steamy stuff happening there. And it's not always steamy, but for this CD, I mean, there's always steamy. In each book, there's some steam. Okay. And this one, Cartel 4, had the most steamy. Like, they went in. I was like, oh my gosh, am I blushing? Like, what is going on here? Like, why is this just like wildfire? It's just hot and heavy, and yeah, more so than the first three. So anyway, this is what I'm going to be taking back. I'm not, yeah, I didn't even listen to this whole CD. Remember, I showed you guys. So anyway, I'm going to quickly show you guys these, and then I'm going to do some readings to see if you guys can tell if it was an independent writer that wrote that paragraph or a very well-known writer with a big publishing house. That is the focus of the night, and I'm going to change the title. Yes, I am. So hello, everybody that is in the chat room, and hi, you guys that are watching or listening. And listening while you're knitting, listening while you are cycling and working out. Thank you so much for that comment. That was awesome. And so I'll be looking at some of the comments as well. But I'm taking this one back. It's the definition of Fantasia. I listened to about 4 songs and I'm good. And I really like her, especially live. I've seen her live and I love her. And I think it's the difference between listening to that CD, and again, I didn't listen to all of it because my attention span just, maybe I just want to get back to the Cartel or John Coltrane. Either way, I couldn't do it. I wish I would have. I can't wait to go buy my Common CD because I really love that. Oh, Coltrane. Talking about Coltrane. Not taking that back. They'll be lucky if they get that back. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and take that back. This one, wasn't feeling this. This is Faith Evans, The King and I, with Biggie Smalls, right? And I listened to 2, and I couldn't do it. All this kind of sexy type of sound and talking shit. I'm like, and then me and then, I don't know. I'm not. I'd rather see her live. Did I see her live? In Florida. So I did. And I saw Tony live in Florida. This was a night. Yes, I did see her. She sounds amazing. I love that little whispery voice she's got. Haven't even opened up my Stevie Wonder yet, so I might keep that one because I've been listening to these and trying to figure out which one I want to listen to. Fantasia, I believe. I didn't even open that one up, and I'm not going to. And it's not that I don't like Fantasia. I love Fantasia. That's why I got the CDs. But the commercial part of it is not what I wanted to hear. I love listening to her live. And I listened to her live on YouTube. Barack Obama, you guys know I own this book, but I listened to it because the author, my president, your president, our president, is reading that book, and it was amazing to hear him every morning. And this is the Cartel 3, which I'm taking it back because obviously I'm done with it. I don't even know why it's still here. And then God Bless, or God Help the Child by Toni Morrison, which I haven't opened up yet. This is one I am keeping, so I'm just basically moving these stacks accordingly. And I'm taking down my little mirror because, you know, I need to make sure stuff ain't all, you know. Anyway, and this is a notebook that I still have that Dee Dee gave me all the way from Paris. And I just love it, and I keep all kind of notes in it. And it's just there because, again, I like to keep notes, and then I hit the live and I don't use them. So I am thinking about or debating, I'm going to read one of these stories. and to see if I want to keep the rest. This is not due until like maybe another 10 days. Obviously, reading Tar Baby. I kind of wanted to ask you guys, where are you in the Tar Baby read? And remember, I talked about this last night. I'm not feeling the audio. Yeah, I probably put it back in there because I didn't want to. Yeah, I didn't want to hear it. Yep, CD number 3, Tar Baby. Putting it back because I'm just not feeling. I'm just not feeling it. Not. I'd rather reread the book because I like the experience with this book, and this is my book, so that ain't going nowhere. But if you are reading it and you're in the chat room, let me know if you're enjoying it or not. And do you think it's going to be one of your favorite Morrisons or not? Some people like it. Some people think it's okay. Some people think, oh, wow, this is great. I thought it was great. So this is the Cartel 5. You know I'm keeping it. I just talked about it. 6 and 7. So we're here with the Cartel. And then Pearl Clige. I need to finish this dang Cartel. And then the Sidney Poitier one. I didn't talk about that, so I'm going to talk about this tonight. So I kind of want to read the synopsis. And then also my second one, because I listened to Remember Me by Cheryl Robinson, who sent me the book X-Ray, who has the trilogy. And she sent me the wonderful Starbucks. And I did partake. I did go to Starbucks one time on my lunch break, and that's when I was reading God's Country, and I put a picture on Instagram. I truly enjoyed free coffee and one of those spinach wrappy things that I love to get at Starbucks. So this is Cheryl Robinson. When I get where I'm going, Cheryl Robinson. So I can't wait to listen to this one. I think I'm going to listen to this one and Pearl Clige kind of back to back because I think they might be in the same vein. And also Kimberly Lawson Ruby. So, yeah. And I'm telling you, after listening to the Cartel and how exciting, it's from one page to the next or one CD to the next, y'all better come with it. Cheryl and Kimberly and Miss Pearl Clige. I'm just saying, come with it. And you too, Sidney Poitier. But I'm going to read this one first and then, yeah, Pearl Clige. So anyway, I'm going to read the synopsis for this one first because I just did not know that Sidney Poitier had a novel. I just didn't. I read Sidney Poitier, Measure of a Man, which is nonfiction. So it was nice to learn about his childhood, his mother and father, who he adores and respects. And he's just a gentleman. I know he's had some bumps in his life, just like everybody else, but I'm just saying. Sidney Poitier is pretty dapper. Anyway, Montero Kane is the name of the Sidney Poitier book, and it's narrated by George Goodall. Isn't that a very popular name? George Goodall's 40-year career in the theater includes roles on Broadway, off-Broadway, and regional theaters across the country. The recipient of an Obie Award, he has appeared in over 75 productions ranging from Shakespeare to Neil Simon. He has appeared on major soap operas. We were talking about soap operas last night. Soap operas in New York, as well as in TV shows such as Law and Order, The Equalizer, and Spencer for Hire, one of the audiobook industry's most acclaimed readers. Oh my goodness, I'm in for a treat. Yay. The cover is so dark and not interesting, so it's not showing up good. I don't like this cover at all. So for the cover. And anyway, one of the audiobooks, India's blah, blah, blah. He's got audio awards for his performances of A Widow for 1 year, and I know this much is true. Wally Lamb, my favorite Wally Lamb book. I read the whole 900 and something page book, but he narrated. Oh my goodness, I bet that's awesome. So anyway, I'm going to read the synopsis. Montero Kane. A baby is born with a coin in her hand. An orphan crafts a mysterious wooden object. The CEO of a large corporation finds himself under extraordinary pressure at work and at home and on a remote hilltop on a Caribbean island. A medicine man seems to understand the meaning of all these events and to hold the key to the future. Then there's just two paragraphs. Montero Kane, he's the CEO of the Fitzer Corporation, is losing control of the company he built just as his teenage daughter is experiencing her own difficulties. At this moment of crisis, a man and woman appear at his office with a coin of unknown provenance, composed of a metal unknown on Earth. Uh-oh. Montero immediately recognizes it as the companion of a coin he analyzed as a graduate student working in a lab at MIT, no doubt, which was later returned to his unidentified owner. The coin's appearance draws the attention of scientists, collectors, financiers, and thieves of all whom vie to get their hands on it. Okay, it sounds like, yeah. And Montero himself hopes that the discovery of the coin will save his company, but the value of the coin lies not in its monetary worth, but in its hold on the people who come in contact with it. Uh-oh. Is there some magical mysteries sort the element? Anyway, these include the young woman who is not aware of the object that was found in her hand at birth. Come on. An old man who, as a boy, crafted a wooden compact as a gift for a young Montero Kane, and the elusive healer Matthew Perch, who, from his hut on a small Caribbean island, knows precisely why these people have been brought together and what wisdom the coin imparts. In his first novel, Sidney Poitier's first novel, the beloved actor and director Sidney Poitier takes us on a wild and unexpected adventure from New York to Europe to the Caribbean and beyond. The novel offers Poitier's heartfelt message about the potential each of us have within ourselves and about being open to the possibility that there are mysteries in the universe and here on earth far greater than we can imagine. An enthralling journey into the magic of existence. Montero Kane is a radiant debut for an American legend. It sounds very lost symbolish, a lot like Dan Brown. Like, yeah, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Let me see what you guys think about that. That's what I want to know. Oops, where are my glasses? What did I do to them? And why is my shirt all twisted? Because I'm moving around every 5 seconds. All right, so we're going to actually see what you guys think. And my nose is just shining. And it's just going to shine. Anyway, so hi everyone, says Sabrina. Hi, Sabrina. How are you? Sabrina whom? Are you my sister? Hi, sister. My sister's name is Sabrina. Let me take off my glasses and see who you are. Oh, hi, Sabrina. Not my sister. How are you? And let me go down. Hi, Bernie M. Good evening, all. Pretty Brown Eye Reader says, I'm on page 50 of Tar Baby. How you liking it? So she's on page 50, so she's invested. Rebecca says, I am on page 80. She's invested. Sometimes it gives me a headache in a good way. She says, she is so intelligent and there is amazing things happening on every page. Exactly. She's highly intelligent. You could tell just by her writing style. So I know there's lag, so I'm kind of waiting. But basically, this book synopsis that I read from Mr. Sidney Poitier, no doubt, it sounds like a thriller, but with some sort of like magical realism thing. This coin in the hand and this, going from Europe to the Caribbean and all over the place. Kind of James Bondish meets what? The lost symbol or something. I don't know. Some sort of treasury huntish type of thing. Let me see how many CDs there are. There are 9, so that's not bad. That's 3 more than these cartels, right? So that's going to be a quick one. Hopefully, because of the narrator, I will hopefully enjoy it because he's award-winning and he's in the theater. So the Pericles. So you guys let me know if you think that is going to be interesting or something, a book that you might want to pick up and read from the library or purchase and own, because there's a lot of Sidney Poitier fans out there, including me. That's why I got it, but from the library, because I never even heard of it. I just happened to look. I saw his name. I'm thinking, what? I already read The Measure of a Man. I know he has another nonfiction. I didn't know he had a novel. And how old is it? Don't even know that. Let me look. It says 2013. Gosh, you guys, that's 5 years ago, right? Carry the one. Yes, because it's 2018 now, so 5 years ago. And now for Miss Pericles, 9 CDs again. Oh my gosh. These are not long. The longest one I had was that one that I never finished. It was like two big old, oh my gosh, 4336 some, I don't know. No, it wasn't that one. It was the one that Michael Reed's read. And years ago I watched his channel and I pulled it up and it was an Italian writer. Don't quote me, I don't know. But anyway, it was sounding really good, but I needed a whole 3 months to listen to that. There were so many CDs in that baby. So 9 is good. 9 is a good amount. Yeah, even The Brief History of Seven Killings was a lot of CDs. I mean, the book is huge. So let's talk about Seen It All and Done the Rest. Now you got a very popular actor, award-winning, Oscar-winning first novel, and then someone who has written several books, Pearl Cleage. Let's see which one sounds more interesting for you, girl. All right, Seen It All and Done the Rest. The Toast of Europe. We're in Europe again. What's going on? We're in Europe. The Toast of Europe. Josephine Evans, not Josephine Baker. Josephine Evans has spent 30 years abroad establishing her reputation as one of the finest actresses of her generation. In Amsterdam, she redefined who and what an African American diva could be. This is very Josephine Baker-ish. And her legions of loyal fans loved her for it. But when a war she didn't even understand suddenly makes her the target of angry anti-American protests. Americans, why are we so angry all the time? Anyway, Josephine is forced to return to America to see if she can find a new definition of home. Camping out with her granddaughter in Atlanta's West End, Josephine tries to reclaim her old life, even as she scrambles to shape her new one. And this is so ragged. I mean, this book has been around. I'm going to take that as a good sign because I'm trying to read. The words are gone. Some of the letters are actually rubbed off. So I was at she's at her granddaughter's in the West End in Atlanta, and she's trying to regain her life. Okay, an unexpected reunion with an old friend, Abby Allen Browning, soon offers her a chance to set things right, rallying with Abby against an unscrupulous land developer who threatens to tear the community apart. Josephine finds herself playing the most important role of her life as she shows her neighbors what courage really is and learns the real meaning of coming home. All right, so this is a coming home story for someone who has made a name for herself abroad, like Josephine Baker. Maybe that's really why she named her character that way. And then, but did Josephine come home? Is this sounding familiar? I don't know. Are there any Josephine Baker fans out there that knows that she came home? I don't think she ever came home. Maybe she came home to rally a little bit and then went back. I don't know. But that's the kind of thing that will make me look up Josephine Baker because it reminds me of her a little bit. Now, if you have never heard of Pearl Cleage, I'm just going to read some of the books just in case you haven't. Just in case. I'm not trying to be a book snob and be like, you ain't heard of Pearl Cleage. Child, everybody ain't heard of everybody. So anyway, about the author, Pearl Cleage is the author of Baby Brothers Blues, Babylon Sisters, and Some Things I Thought I'd Never Do, and the Oprah Book Club pick, which was my first read of hers, What Looks Like Crazy on an Ordinary Day, all of which are available on Sound Library audiobooks. An accomplished playwright, she teaches playwriting at Spelman College. We just talked about Spelman last night. Is a co-founder of the literary magazine Catalyst and writes a column for the Atlanta Tribune. Miss Cleage, Miss Cleage, lives in Atlanta with her husband. Okay, so she's not Mrs. Cleage. It says Miss Cleage lives in Atlanta with her husband. And then the narrator, about the narrator, Robin Miles is acting and accent coach of assistant professor of speech at the SUNY, no wonder. And it's so scratched off. Again, I can't even read the whole name of the theater conservatory that she teaches at. She has recorded more than 60 audiobooks, you guys, 60. This is 10 hours and 20 minutes. This is Robin Miles on the back, if you have never seen her. Let me see what you guys are gonna see. And there she is. You see her? Oops, there she is. Robin Miles, like I said last night, she comes ready and prepared. Now we know why. All right, so that's that of the things from the library. Some are going back, mostly CDs. Yeah. Let me see what you guys are saying. How about that? All right, so yeah, I'm already sounding like I'm losing my voice. I'm going to take a swig of coffee as I scroll down. Hi, 11 people watching. How are you? This is Booktube Live on a Sunday. Hashtag reading Blackout 2018. Hashtag read so lit 365. Hashtag BHM. Happy Black History Month. Hashtag read so lit. Hashtag welcome to Booktube. Like Adam said from Memento Mori, the underbelly. And so let me scroll up. Let me scroll up. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so I am there with it. I see the hellos. I love that you are loving it. And I read that. Hi, everyone. Read that. Pretty Brown, I read that. Okay, and we're caught up with the Toni Morrison. I am reading very slow, not to miss anything. I actually like how she does, or how she subscribes the nature on the island most so far in the book, says Pretty Brown-Eyed Reader, talking about Toni Morrison's Tar Baby. That's a beautiful setup. And even in the CD, even that monotone style that the narrator has, you still pick up on the beauty of that island. And I do like that part, but I just don't want to listen to that. Definitely would rather read it. And so, hi, Bernie M. Are you enjoying God's Country? I am done with God's Country. I loved God's Country. I talked about it, was it last weekend? I think it was last weekend. And because I was talking about how one of the things that I loved was how he bought you in. And it was so funny. It was hilarious. The names are funny. Um, the main character is he's he's a hot mess. I mean, he loses his wife to some, scavengers or whatever he wants to call them because he's very racist. And he talks too much and he starts to annoy the people by the way he just talks too much. And he's always broke and he was a hot mess. And then as him and Bubba go on this journey to try to find his wife with the young boy, yeah, that starts off on the journey with them. I'm not going to say much more because I didn't want to spoil it. So we did talk about that, but I do like the way that Percival Everett made you laugh at the beginning at this character and his little funkiness and his just little silly ways. And he was always broke, but always at the darn bar trying to get, drinks on credit, basically. And sometimes folks would buy him drinks and sometimes they weren't. He's just a hot mess. And, people were more impressed the fact that, his dog had died. They were all sentimental about that. So it kind of makes you laugh. It's funny. And then he pulls you in and he's the same man. But when that racist element comes in, that laughter, you go, oh my goodness, was I laughing at this? And then he pulls you in, and then when that element comes out, so you have the black man, you have the Indians, and you have this white main narrating character who's just like calling the black man the N-word throughout, and the Indians, the engines and the savages and what have you, and no fault to his white people that have done anything to nothing, and that's just that's that realism that happens. But Percival Everett, that was amazing how he did that book. And I like to look at, kind of like step back and look at what he was actually saying. And it's not that it's hard to find out what he was actually doing and what he was saying, especially if you've read several of his books. He's always coming with it, and there's always this element that you're going to learn something, or something that is happening in America that shouldn't, that will you maybe you should watch what the things that you laugh at the water cooler, maybe this, that, and the other. But it's just really, I just took all that from it and I loved it. So did you read it? Did you finish it? Did you like it? I enjoy him all the time. I haven't read a Percival Everett book that I don't like, and they're always just coming from a really cool, funny, very high intelligent place sometimes. And it seems simple, but it's really not. And that's what I like about him. So that is that. Let me see if there were any more. Hi Denise. Hi everyone, says Run Right Reads. Hi Karen, how are you? And so we're just going over, we've tossed some things out from the library, things that I'm going to be taking back that I wasn't feeling as far as music wise, and the Toni Morrison audiobook. I'm not going to be listening to that. This is my second read, so I'd rather read, just pick up and read the physical book and finish it out that way. And so I kept some things from the library, things that I'm currently reading, showed all that. And now I'm going to go to my stack, which I'm on the Cartel #4, which I've talked about. I'm on the last CD. And this one, just like the other ones, hot messes, lots going on. Folks are getting murked, and murked is like murdered. Just all kind of stuff happening. So, oh, and these are the ones I'm also keeping from the library. The Tyler Perry, which I kind of want to listen to really soon, but I do want to, the two that I read, the reason why I read the Sidney Poitier, because number one, I never knew that he had a fiction book, so I read that synopsis just to catch anyone up that is coming in late. And I read the synopsis for Pericles, which is read by none other than Robin Miles, one of my favorite narrators. So let me see. Tyler Perry, I think, does this one. No, no. Darn it. I kind of thought he did. Tyler Perry, Higher is Waiting, read by Dominic Hoffman. Dominic Hoffman is an entertainment artist in Venice, California. He works in theater, film, and television. He's a writer, actor, and director. Oh, this picture is way too small. Very, very small. But if you could see it, you'd recognize who it is. I just know he's been in a lot of stuff. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, so I'm keeping that. And of course, I own this book and I showed you guys. And this is just a quick wrap up of the things if anybody has not been keeping up with the lives, and Tyeri and An American Marriage, her brand new book, and Ink and Paper Blog just blogged about it, and he's loving it or loved it. And he said he's been hooked since Silver Sparrow, which that's why I pulled off this one off my shelf. So I will be reading this. If it's not if it's not a good narrator, I'm glad I have the book. And this is read by Michelle Blackman. And let's see what she's like. Let's see here. Michelle Blackman has spent the past 28 years performing, so she's got a history, directing and teaching theater as an actor, singer, and dancer. She has performed in numerous stage productions in Seattle, Portland, Aspen, and Oregon Shakespeare Festival. Okay. She's performed in the Soviet Union as a part of the Cultural Arts Exchange. This is 8 hours and 25 minutes, so I hope I enjoy her narration. I do. And I think I'm going to save this one to last, because I think this is really going to be good. This is the Joplin's Ghost, and this is Tananarive Dew, and this is read by Lazan Mitchell, I'm sorry. And this is another Gyrot, I hate that I can't pronounce that, studio audio, and I really like theirs. Now I'm going to just see what you guys are saying very quickly, if there's anything new. And then I'm going to read from, and we're going to take a look at the book page too, but last possibly, because I just wanted to see if you guys can, if we can all, because I haven't read these books. One I'm in the midst of reading. The others I'm just going to read from, like a little small paragraph, and see if the writing style, if you can actually pick up on the fact that it's an independent writer versus a very well-known published writer. All right. Oh, you didn't see that. Okay, I'm going to look at what you guys are saying first before I do that, and see how many minutes we are into this baby. We were into it like 44 minutes. Oh my gosh, time flies when you're running off at the mouth. All right, so anyway, I'm going to look at that. Hey, Denise, that's where I stopped. Karen Run Right Read says, does Toni Morrison narrate her audiobooks? Not all of them. She is, the two that I have, the Tar Baby that I'm taking back is by someone else, and it's kind of monotone and I'm not digging it. That's why that audiobook is going back. However, God bless, or God help the child, she narrates. It's very short, and maybe, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that's why. I don't know. They're all down there. I done threw them down there, Karen. But she does narrate God Bless the Child. That's the reason why I got that one, because I read it when it first came out a few years ago. And there was so much good in it, but I just wasn't, yeah. So I'm going to listen to her because I love the sound of her voice. And I think that's going to put a different spin on it for me. So yes and no. I know I also checked out, this is maybe a couple of years ago too, when I lived at the house, I checked out Home, even though I got it because, again, I paint and I have to keep my stories in my head and I love to listen to them. So she narrated that one and she talks real slow and whatever. And it was just nice and soothing to hear. So yes and no. She doesn't narrate all of them. So that's the last question on there. So maybe not. Hi, Patrice Jones. She says hello. And God help the child had me speechless for days. See, and that's maybe why I want to listen to it by her, because I read it pretty quickly when it first came out. Hi, 14 people. How are you? And I wanted more. I felt a rushness, and it could have been me, but I'm not going to take back how I felt, because that video back then, I used to do videos where I would just like with Ruby and Cynthia Bond, I did like 6 videos. I was literally like reading it and so that I could just do a reaction type of videos to the books that I read. And that was very reaction. As soon as I closed that book, I turned on and just like was like not feeling it. So I really think it's going to take a different, it's going to be different listening to her, because she's one of my favorite people, let alone writers. I love to listen to her. I'm still, yes, listen to her on the middle of the night, 3 o'clock in the morning, doing interviews and talking about her experience as a writer, or whatever the interview is. She just takes it and she just goes, and it's just marvelous to be living in a time where Toni Morrison exists. Okay, that's how much I love that woman. So anyway, she's worth the study. And so I'm going to read just a paragraph. Just a paragraph. Am I so shiny? Why am I so shiny? Why am I so shiny? I look like Rudolph with a red nose or gold nose. Did I put makeup on my nose? It is hecka shiny. Anyway, we're not going to worry about that. We're going to read. And you tell me. I'm going to first read, and I'm not going to tell you which it is. So here it goes. 14 people. Yeah, we're going to play this little game. If you have any current events that you want me to talk about or us to chat about, you just let me know, because you know there's lag. But I'm watching Denise right now, and she's still doing this. So here we go. She all late. Anyway, about time y'all hear what I'm saying now. Hopefully we'll have it going on. Oh, I didn't. Oh, let me get this back up so you don't see the darn book. Okay, I'm going to put that one back in the stack because I think y'all saw that. Okay, I'm going to pick up this one. And this is what it says. Just one paragraph. I've tried hard to recall what I wished for while sitting at the table blowing out the candles with my eyes closed on my 3rd birthday, but I just can't remember. After so many birthdays and so many candles blown out, I am still unable to recall if any of my past wishes came true. Throughout life, we seem to want the simplest things, and we choose to phrase them as wishes for whatever reason, maybe just out of habit. That's one paragraph. That's intriguing. I kind of want to know what's going on with his 3rd birthday and why is he trying to remember what's going on. Okay, or she, or what have you. I'm going to pick up another one. And you guys tell me if you can tell who's the independent writer or who's the big publishing house. Is this a big publishing house? Let me make sure. Yep, it is. And no, it's not. Let me make sure I got 2 different ones. Yep. Okay, I got them on the right side. Whew. Okay, so now we are going to read this one. Or maybe I'll just pick up something different. All right. Paragraph. Just any page. This is how it's going down. Dark eyes followed. I hope I don't read anything sexy. Anyway, dark eyes followed the woman as she sashayed past them. Someone made a slanderous comment about the silk wrapped around her neck, but no one dared laugh. Easter was busy screwing a lid into a jar when she happened to look up. Surely she was seeing an illusion. Rain was walking toward her, moving like an apparition through the rippling drapes of steam that rose from heads of hair being hot combed into submission. Stop looking up those names. Stop it. I see y'all. Y'all think I can't see through this camera, but I did. So that was one paragraph in a random book that I picked up. Two, now you tell me. And while we do that, I'm going to put those two books down and we'll come back to them, right? While I do that, I'm going to look into the book page and see if we find any read so lit suggestions and also reading blackout suggestions for this month, February, Black History Month. Because remember, January was a miss. There was only like 3, and only 2 of them I could count as African Americans for the reading blackout. So I'm already there, and yes, I find some. This is perfect winter reading. And again, this is the book page. If you can see it, Colson Whitehead. I listened to that last year on my Audible that I purchased it. This was like, yeah, because that's during the time I was reading Beloved for the second time, and also The Secrets. Yeah, a witty. And what else is I reading? Several different, and then I read some nonfiction during that time. And it took me a while to get through this one. Underground Railroad, Colson Whitehead. Pulitzer Prize winning Colson Whitehead, right? And so when I did, and I think Robin Miles was the narrator, and the narration was really good, but I think I was reading too much of the same. And Marlon James, The Book of Night Women. Okay, so The Truth About a Witty, Beloved, and The Book of Night Women, and then Underground Railroad. This one fell back to me after, and then again, remember, it could have been because I have all 3 physical books, and this one is on my Audible. And I'm sure that I'm so sure of it, that played a lot into it. And I didn't like it as much as I did the other 3 books that I was reading. All slave narratives, right? So, American War, that's not one. Let's see here. Cover Story, not a recommendation for Read So Lit or Reading Blackout, but this one is. And we just talked about that. American Marriage, Tayuri Jones. And there she is. So they got a full out page on her. And there's the copy of her book right there that we've all seen on Booktube. One Couple Against the System. Tayuri Jones' first name is a Swahili word that means she is prepared. It's a powerful declaration that holds true as the groundwork for Jones's moving, emotionally complex new novel, An American Marriage, can be traced to 7 years ago. And she's beautiful. And I've been seeing her around on Twitter and pictures with Oprah Winfrey. So it's pretty cool. So that is the Oprah pick. I'm so proud of her, and I've never read any of her books, and I got, at least I've got 2 on my shelves. 3. I've got Leaving Atlanta, The Untelling, which I also have from the library audio checkout that I just showed, and Silver Sparrow that Russell from Ink and Paper bought, maybe get off my shelf and put on the Blackout bookshelf. So I'll be reading her this year. She's gorgeous. And now I want American Marriage. So that's another recommendation out of the book page that we can actually maybe take a, recommendation from. I'm proud of that. And then another one that I saw on Dominique's page and the Storyscape. It's called When They Call You a Terrorist, a Black Lives Matter memoir. Patrice Khan Cullors and Asha Bendele, with a foreword by none other than Angela Davis. So we've all seen that. And this is specifically says Black History Month. So we've got a whole section in the book page. The Many Forms of a Freedom Fighter, it's called. So You Want to Talk About Race is another book. And I can't pronounce the name. Ijima Olua, and then I Can't Breathe. Over and over is the cover. It says I Can't Breathe. Breathe, A Killing on Bay Street, and that's by Matt Taibbi. And then Smoketown by Mark Whitaker, all African American or African descendants for Black History Month in the book page. So that's 5 already, 6 actually already that I've looked at. So there's several, you guys, this time. And I think that's where it ends. Sorry, but I think that is where it ends. Let me just take a quick look. And how do you feel about that? So we had 3 last month for January and already up to 6 because it's Black History Month. And then it's almost like, is that saying I've done my due diligence for this month for African Americans, and we're going to go ahead on and just have the rest of the books in here. I don't know. I don't see any Hispanic Americans. I don't see a lot of diversity. Not to say there's not. Okay, meet Jasmine Guillory. Got another, The Wedding Dates. So there's, what's that, up to 7 or 8 now? And, yeah, and then all these are all romance by, and then Colson Whitehead is listed again. Lincoln in the Bordeaux, but no. Okay, so I think I'm done here. I think I got what I wanted. So there's a lot more recommendations in the book page. So if you are new to the book page, if your library does not carry this where it's free for you, they actually have a website showing everything that's in the book page, and it's a really good website because it's very nice and pretty website because it's books and just pictures of books and articles about books and reviews and so forth and so on. And I really enjoy it. Yes, I do. But that's the book page Sunday talk. More recommendations this month. We'll check it out and check it out and check it out next month on March. Probably the first Sunday in March, we'll go over it. Right? Okay. So that's that. And I'm going to look at your comments and see if you can tell from the 2 paragraphs that I read, which one was the independent, number 1, the first one I read, or the second one, 1 or 2. Let me know. Play the game with me. Play the game. That's what I want to know. And hi, 16 people watching. This is Denise Cooper with Booktube Live. How are you? I hope you're in the chat room, or maybe you're not. Maybe you're exercising. Hi. And I did want to talk about, I needed to change this because last night we were talking about booktubers who get do you get nervous reading out loud on your channels. We're going to swipe that little baby. I'm going to back that up right now, take it off of there because we're not talking about that. I hope that if you came here for that topic, please forgive me because sometimes I get too busy to actually sit down here and be on time and change the topic. So I'm going to do that right now with my phalanges. And so tonight we're talking about indie authors versus well-known publishing houses and the book page. And so you guys are so with me right now. I just get to do this and right in your faces, and you don't care. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Let me know. Anyway, let me see what you guys are saying. Hi, Musical Toddy. And Toddy says, well, hello. This is what I'm not streaming tomorrow looks like. Okay, I need to go up, obviously, because, hey, you guys, if you are just coming in, I just read a couple of things, and I'm going to go back up. Hi, Denise, says Randy. Hi, Randy. How are you? And let's see here. Okay, so I'm right where I need to be, I believe. Hi, Cece, Peta, comfy cozy up. Man, you were rocking that purple. She was rocking it. New blog post. Y'all better get with it. And go to Comfy Cozy Up's page and get all the information about her website, which is a blog, and it's awesome. We talked about it here, and if you are already familiar with it, it's just awesome. So I'm going to go up, and because I obviously have missed some people, and I got heck of light on. Jeez, but I'm not burning up tonight. I turned the air down, or the heat down. Yes, we still have to have the heater on here in Texas. It's kind of like weird. And it rained today, just a little bit. Okay, so there. I am caught up now. God help the child. Going down, going down, going down. If you're new, I'm looking at the chat room and going to be reading their comments. And I have been copying and pasting. So those of you who actually are going to be taking a look at the recorded video and listening to what we were chatting about, then you'll also be able to see their comments. All right, so now I'm at Keisha Forsaken. What was the name of the narrator for Tar Baby that you were listening to? I threw it over there on my bed because I know here there are two Desiree Colemans who narrate the unabridged version, and Alfred Woodard. It was not Alfred Woodard, it was Desiree Coleman, I believe, because I remember reading that name thinking, isn't that a name of a singer? And so it's Desiree Coleman, but it's over there, and I'm sorry, I'm not gonna get up. And but it's definitely not Alfred Woodard. Keisha. Who narrates the abridged version? I have no idea. If that's the abridged version, then that's Desiree Coleman. Or is it? I don't know. I can't see from here. All I see is that big old word, Tower Baby. But, you know, the narrator's name is so darn small. But I just read it, and y'all want me to get up? Dang, Keisha, yeah, God, just like a little sister. You just be like asking me to do stuff. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Just talk to my kid's house. Jesus. Okay. It really wasn't that hard, Denise. Anyway, to satisfy Keisha, who'll be making me get up and stuff. Okay, so this is the library edition. Where's her name? Where's her name? Desiree Coleman. Right there on the back. So this is the library edition, 10 hours, 9 compact discs. I got to 3, and it's a different experience. And maybe it's just the story. Maybe I don't want anybody reading that to me. I don't know. I don't know. I've already talked about it. I don't know about that one. Didn't like it. So anyway, I think it's maybe because I already know the story and I've read the physical book and I love my physical book. And I like that whole experience reading a Toni Morrison novel. And again, I've already listened to Toni Morrison on audio do home herself. And now, God help the child, I can't wait to get to that one just to hear her voice again. So a little rehash there. But thanks, Keisha Forsaken. And Run Right Reads right after Keisha. She says, I think that that second one is the indie writer. The second one, okay, so we have a vote. The second one was the indie writer, she says. There are a lot of verbs and adjectives that I would have eliminated. See, a writer, she's a writer. If I was editing that book because they distract from each other, I hope it wasn't my reading. Then Run Right Read says, same here with Tayari. I haven't read her before, but I am excited about all the hype she's getting. Exactly. And Patrice Jones says, I am listening to Silver Sparrow right now, and it's very good. Oh my God, I can't wait to read that. I'm excited. But I am going to go with the Untelling first since I have that on audio, and I need to catch up with some paintings. So, and then I'll be taking it to work. Okay, so anyway, I'm excited about that. So I'm going to read the comments and then I'll reveal whether the first one or the second one, big house, little house kind of thing. Musical Toddy says, well, hello. And that's where I scrolled up from there. So she says, I read The Untelling and liked it. I'm looking forward to An American Marriage, and I have Leaving Atlanta on my shelf. Now, when I first got Leaving Atlanta, I was like, oh, I want to read that like right now. And then I heard somebody say they didn't care for it as much as they liked her other ones. I don't remember who that person was, but it made me put it down like to the back of the list. So I'm going to read The Untelling first. And then Ink and Paper Blog made me want to read Silver Sparrow. So Toddy, if you, I don't know, tell me, I don't know. If you read that, let me know. Maybe we can read that together. Because you know how bad I am with the buddy read. You're going to have to take the reins. Because if you want to, no pressure. Just saying. But I would love to read that with you. And I watched your video today. If you guys have not watched Toddy, Toddy lived up to her name today. Or at least that's when I watched the videos today. I can't remember the name of the book, but it was about this opera singer. And Toddy is very, obviously, she's musical Toddy. She's very well educated on musicality, if that's a word. I'm sure it is, but I'm not saying it right. But it's very interesting to listen to. And I did see somebody in your comments said that they had read about 100 and something pages and they didn't finish it. And just when I was scrolling down and I'm listening to Toddy, because I was taking a little break from, sewing, then Toddy comes in and she's still talking. I'm listening, and she says, "I would not recommend this book." So, but then don't stop there. Just keep listening to her, because that's one of my draws to BookTube, is really love it, listening to somebody that has read a book that the review is still interesting. Their thoughts on it is still interesting, and what's good and what's maybe not so good, and why she wouldn't recommend that book. And it was very interesting, Toddy. So I appreciated that video today, because I read that or listened to it on my little sewing break, and it was awesome. And there will be no chocolate in March's book page. Girl, that's what I'm thinking. Maybe a couple, just like on January. There were what, 3? So we'll see. But the thing about the book page, and I noticed that when I started doing it years ago, but that's how I found Jam on the Vine. And I remember Steve Reeds took a picture of it. He was like, he went out and got it, and Dee Dee got it, and she read, and she did an amazing review. And I got the the writer's copy, and it was really good. It really was. So, and I liked it even more because I'm from Kansas, and the story was set in Kansas City. So I really enjoyed that. So I would have never found out about her, because I never heard anybody talk about her on Bookpage, or on BookTube rather, and it was in the book page, and it had the long featured article about her book, and it was a beautiful copy. And I really enjoy it for when they do have some really good people that I've never heard of, and instead of just seeing the same book all the time. So that way you can get some gems from the book page. So in that respect, I enjoy it. And it's about books, okay? But I feel like January and the difference to February, and then I think the first time that I picked it up, there was so much romance in there, and there's a lot in this one. So maybe it's whoever's putting out the book page, these librarians that they talk to, and whomever, the publishers are very, into romance and what have you. So, but I haven't seen any, whatever. That's all I'm gonna say. Um, yeah, Sabrina. Let's see here. Okay, yeah, I'm at Helen H. Actually, I skipped Helen H. So Helen H says, I need a short book to read. J. California Cooper. I want, or Percival Everett, always really short. I need a short book to read. I want to add a book for this month, but my studies keep me reading for school. What type of books do you like, Helen H? Like what type of genre? Because there are lots of short books, and if you want some short stories, if you want something specifically for Read So Lit or Black History Month, um, let us know. And because there's loads, and yeah, there's some very profound 200-page books like a J.M. Coetzee or Percival Everett. Just a lot. And then there are some books that, the short stories might fit you too if you got a lot of different studies going on. So just let me know what type of genre you like, and I'm sure anybody in the chat room would like to recommend something to you. So that's Helen H. And then Sabrina says, I think the second excerpt was the independent writer. Okay, so let me read it before I actually reveal who it was. Also, that's what happens. I did it last night. So if I think it's what happens is like if people are typing at the same time and then they come up all at the same time, then it scrolls up and then I lose. Yeah, there we go. So I'm going to try to hold it down with my hand. Also, I chose An American Marriage as my book of the month pick. Can't wait to start reading it. And that's Sabrina. And Brittany Wiggins. Hi, Brittany. Another Brooklyn is a good short book. See, there you go. I recently read Helen. And so Helen says to Brittany, thanks, I will look it up. And Jacqueline Woodson, correct. I'm going to get it on Kindle. So another Brooklyn, yes, Jacqueline Woodson. And she also wrote Hush or Shush or something like that. I got that one. But Brown Girl Dreaming, whew, that was beautiful. And you could read that one really fast and it's just so beautiful if you haven't read it already. And oh my goodness, that's so beautifully written. It's poetic. So let me keep holding this down. Um, Brittany says that's it. I hope you like it. I think it packs a nice punch and isn't that long. Okay, I got all this light and I'm trying to see through it. Ashley J says one of my book clubs chose An American Marriage, a book of the month too. I'm going to listen to the audio version. And she's talking to Sabrina. Musical Toddy says Troy said he didn't like it. Troy said he didn't like Leaving Atlanta. Is maybe that's the review. Did he do a video about that? Because I remember somebody. It might have been Troy. It may have. I don't know. But I remember somebody saying they didn't like it, or as much as they did the other books of hers. And I like put it back on my shelf. I was like, oh, man, I was trying to collect all her stuff, and I wanted to start with that one for some reason. But so I shied away from it because I wanted to read a good book at the time. Anyway, so Keisha Forsaken says, laugh out loud. I was just curious since I was listening to it as well. And I know you said you weren't feeling it, but oh, you laughing at me getting up? For a few minutes, and I didn't mind her that much, but I've never read the book. The book is better than that particular narration. Before I find that I have a hard time listening to audiobooks, if I've already read and loved a book. Yeah, maybe that's it, Keisha. I'm telling you, I think that's probably it because I know the story and I know how it played out in my head. Um, so not sure if it makes complete sense. Yes, it does. And Sabrina says, let me know if the audiobook version is good, says Ashley. Musical Toddy says, thank you. Short stories, Helen H. J. California Cooper has a lot of them. Hi, KT. And she says, which was also my suggestion, Family is her novel that is like one of my favorites. Patrice Jones says, I just purchased it. Thanks. Great, Helen. Okay, so two people think that the second excerpt was the independent writer. Now, let's just see what you're going to see here. So the first one was actually from the poetry book of my independent writer. So the independent writer for this month on my TBR is none other than my friend AJ Houston, who I talked about seeing him on stage, and he used to live here in Fort Worth, Texas, and he's an amazing writer. And I love the foreword of his book because you get to know why he's titling this book Walking in My Father's Shoes. Life is just a looking glass. And this is volume number 2. He says he's up to, I think, number 7 or possibly 10, I think. And yeah, but I really liked it. So I read the beginning of his poem called My Wish, and it's got the little pink tab on it because I was supposed to read it one time during live, but I chickened out. And it's just those 2 pages, like a page and a half, actually. So he is a very well-known poet, and he's an independent. He publishes his own poetry books. So yay for the independent writer. So feel free to go and purchase his book, because sometimes people don't want to purchase an independent writer, me included, because of if you read something that was just like, come on. Like recently I got an independent writer book and I was like, yeah, that's the last time I'm going to talk about that. But I talked about it, right? Don't shy away if you're an independent writer, just do better. And because we read a lot here. That's what we do. The other book is by none other but Bernice McFadden, writing as Bernice McFadden. Y'all thought it was going to be the sexy book, but it wasn't. This is Glorious by Bernice L. McFadden. And I'm sure, I am so sure, that it's better than what I read. I'm just sure of it. So we have Bernice McFadden, and the publishing house is Akashic Books, who does, I believe, all her books. And so I think because she's so huge to us, I'm sure that this is obviously a well-known publishing house. So that was Glorious by Bernice McFadden. So Karen and who else guessed? Was that Ashley? Okay. So anyway, let me see what you guys are saying. Jake Oliver Cooper. I used to read a lot. I stopped and now I'm back on it. So I'm trying to pick up a book and just read, says Helen H. Okay, she's just purchased it. Okay, so that's where I left out. And so those are the two books. And so since this is a lag, I'm just actually going to start and go with the next two books. And you tell me if they are well-known writers with a big publishing house or an independent writer. Okay, so let me see. Let me shuffle the books. Let me shuffle. Oh, Lord, let me get this one. Let me see what y'all saying. I don't want y'all to see the books. I'm trying not to hold them up and also keep my clothes on. Okay. No, Randy. No. I know I'm your wife on the internet, but no. Let me stop messing with Randy. Anyway, so I'm going to read the next two. So if you guessed it, wrong or right, that's what my whole point of this is. There are some really good independent writers out there. And if we are only purchasing those with big publishing houses, we might not be inspiring other writers. I purchased my independent writer book for this month, although AJ Houston is for this month. But I told you guys I was buying 12 independent writers. Every month I'm purchasing a new independent writer. And I think no, when I did the last book haul from the Doc Bookshop, I didn't buy any independent writers. Those were all on the clearance section. So I did purchase my independent writer, and her name is, she's in the chat room. So y'all find out who I purchased this month as an independent writer, and I can't wait to get my book. So I'm going to go ahead and read a paragraph from each book, and you guys tell me. Again, this is book one. Okay, I'm cheating. I'm trying. Well, see, it was half of a paragraph. Okay, so I'm going to read it anyway. Eric had come up with a plan to shoot up the funeral and kill Polk, but the location never came up. That day, Chris had been going out doing sales in Brooklyn. He was at the barbershop hanging out with Reese. They were smoking and drinking Henny. I was going to say Hennessy because that's the real word, but it says Henny. They started a dice game with some N-words outside. Chris was wearing a white tee, 2 gold Jesus pieces. Oh, I'm sorry. That was not the writer. That was me. 2 gold Jesus pieced chains. Girls came by looking at Chris. All right. So I'm going to read that again. Try to read it a little bit faster because that was not the writer's fault. That was me. But then again, let's see on the second read. Eric had come up with a plan to shoot up the funeral and kill Polk, but the location never came up. That day, Chris had been out doing sales in Brooklyn. He was at the barbershop hanging out with Reese. They were smoking and drinking Henny. They started a dice game with some guys outside. Chris was wearing a white tee, 2 gold Jesus pieced chains. Girls came by looking at Chris. That's a paragraph in a book, just a random page. And yeah. So there's that. And here's the next one. And I hope I don't give it away. Okay. So I just opened it up. I'm going to read a paragraph. Book number 2. Drum roll, please. Okay, anyway. Being like Christ is about more than just being a spiritual leader. It's also about dealing with pain and betrayal. Jesus is a God who suffers and whose suffering is critical to the image and importance. He suffers because he is betrayed by people he trusts, including his heavenly Father, to whom he says, "My God, why have you forsaken me?" The sentiment shows up in, that would give it away. That would give it away. So I can't read anymore. So that's it. I can't read anymore because it actually says something else, and it may give away who. It just may give something away. That's all I'm gonna say. It's kind of a popular thing that happens, and as obviously by the actual subject matter. So, which one was written better? And it's not really even about better. Which one was more intriguing, maybe more well written, maybe better or best. I'm sorry. We could judge as we're readers. That's what we do. But nobody's paying us to be critics, so we can be as critical as we want to be. And sometimes the writers want that. I'm so sure of it. I know I do. Um, so which one? Book one, do you think it's the independent writer? Book two, do you think that's the independent writer? Let me know. And while you guys do that, because again, there's lag, let me go and read you guys's comments. She says, oh, Karen Runner says, I stand corrected and I'm happy when I am wrong. So the Bernice McFadden was your choice as the independent writer. But yeah, she's the bigger publishing house on that one, and AJ Houston. Remember, I used to do the independent writers, and I compared like from a Richard Wright to an independent writer just to see if the entertainment and the writing kept me going, and could I just, tell the difference. Of course, I'm going to tell the difference with a Richard Wright or anybody, but I'm saying though, is it a bad read just because it's a independent publisher? Was the editing bad? The story was good. I remember when I did that one, it was Asha Jawana, I believe, This Thing Called Love. I can still remember. It's in my living room because I finished that, and that's one I purchased down in Houston at the National Black Book Festival, and I really enjoyed that book. And it was kind of like it kind of felt YA because the people were so young, but it was very adult because of what was going on, and with how she was being raised with a mother that was on drugs and what have you, but her situation, and like I even remember saying at that time, even though we've read books or even hear about these stories on the news or in our real lives, knowing people that have gone through these same type of circumstances, and she's an independent writer, she wrote the book so well that the same month that I read a Richard Wright, it wasn't like her book was just, oh, that's just an independent writer. It was good, and I enjoyed it, and it was 3-star read. So that's pretty much my focus, is wanting to make sure that we don't give up on those independent writers that we can just pick out of the haystack and go, oh man, that was good. And then look for their second book, and they never wrote their second book because they didn't get any support. So, and maybe sometimes you can tell, sometimes you can't. So what is your vote? The first one or the second one? And I'm going to keep reading. And so KT says, Karen Wright, did you buy her book? And yes, to there being good indie writers out there. Most definitely, Karen. Publishing your own book absolutely doesn't mean you're not good enough to get a publishing deal. Exactly, because there are some that got really huge publishing deals and it was their first book. And I mean, To Kill a Mockingbird, and they didn't even have to do the other one. That was just publisher pushing. And then Dolores Phillips, The Darker Child, is like one of my favorite all-time books. And Miss Phillips passed away, and that's the only book she wrote. Sugar by Bernice McFadden, her first books. It's just that first book by an independent publisher could be as strong as a Sugar, could be as strong as The Darker Child, could be as strong as To Kill a Mockingbird. And we won't know if we look at them in a different light and think that we're so high lit and I'm only going to read, a Coates or a what whomever, and that book snobbery that sometimes people get on their high horse about. So, I don't know, I could, there's the cars again. I'm telling you, it's racing weekend. But anyway, I'm just going to keep reading. And then Patrice Jones says, I bet the second one is Karen's book. Um, the second book that I read, Karen's book, no, because I just bought it. I just bought it today. I haven't even got the book yet. I purchased her book today. And, but if that's your answer to who I bought, then yeah. So I did buy her book today. So I can't wait to get it. And so she says, hey, KT, she did indeed. Denise, for real, with the support. Oh, you're the best. Thank you. And I don't know. I think it's important. I want some people to support me. I mean, I have stuff. I have stuff for sale. I don't know. I just think it's a community thing. I think we're here for a reason to to be as loving, as kind as what we have on the inside. Humans are not all evil. So anyway, the second one, Helen says, the second flowed better. However, I have read a few urban books that read as the streets speak. Exactly. And yeah, and even like with the Ashley and Jaquavis with the Cartel, I've listened to like, it still cracks me up the way KT said, when we were talking about Carl Weber, and Keisha for a second had me take that off the shelf and put it on my other shelf, and then I had listened to the audio version of The Preacher's Son, and I laughed through the whole thing. And KT was like, what did she say? That he wrote some nonsensical foolishness or something. And it was so funny because that's exactly how I felt about that book, but she put it into the perfect words. And then Sabrina says, I know what the second book is, so I can't guess the time. Guess this time, she says. So yeah, that's why I had to stop, because I would totally give it away. And so I'll go ahead and talk about that. And the first one, okay, the first one people think is the independent writer. The second one flowed better. Flew better. Child, when doves cry. Prince. All right, so this is a book, I Would Die for You, and my beautiful, yeah, I love Prince. Yeah, still broke up about that. Anyway, the writer is Torre, who started out on, I think the first time I ever seen him, this is like way, way back in the day when MTV had all kind of people and, reporters and journalists and young kids that were, writing books and writing about music and stuff. And I believe that's where I first saw Torre. And I have one of his books. It was awful, you guys. I'm talking awful. So why did I pick up this? Because he's grown, and this is Torre, if you've never seen him before. But back in the day, way back in the day, let me see if they list his book. Torre is a co-host of MSNBC's The Cycle and a columnist for Time.com. He is the author of 4 books, including Who's Afraid of Post-Blackness, a New York Times and Washington Post notable book, He Lives in Brooklyn. They didn't post that other book that he wrote that I purchased. It was terrible. I think I gave that book away so long ago. I don't even know what it was called. It was horrible. It was like, it was bad. It was almost like he was trying to write this like hood story, but he wasn't hood. And he tried to make it this like funny, I don't know what he tried, but it did not work. It sucked. So I picked up this one because writers grow. And, I'm sorry, but, and then it's about my dude, and knowing that again, the first time I heard about this writer, Torre, is on a music type of television show. So, and then he's writing about a musician. To me, that's where his passion lies. So I'm thinking this book is going to be so much better than the fiction book he tried it. He tried it and it didn't work. So maybe he's into where his passion lies. And I remember him being a Prince fan. So, yes, this is published by, I don't know. Let me look it up in the inside, which obviously meant the first one was by the independent writer, and I met her down at the National Black Book Festival in Houston, Texas. This is Ateria Books, a division of Simon and Schuster. So big house and a smaller division. However, a well-known journalist. And so this is the first book I read. And there's the cover. Look how big this book is. Now, this is the first time I actually opened up this book and read it. And when I did read that paragraph, something happened to the book. Now, I remember talking to her, and if you see my old videos when I went to the National Black Book Festival, I vlogged the whole journey, even driving in the rain and everything else. And I got to talk to her, and her setup was lovely. And she publishes her own books, and she has her own company. And the book feels good, and the picture is really good. Very hood, very urban lit, very tragic on the front. But look at that, my beautiful colors, right? And look how big it is. So when I opened it up and I was talking to her, I was like, whoa. And she goes, I know. It's not that, she was just saying how it's not that big of a book or long of a story. It's the type. And this is what happened when I opened up the book. Look, it kind of is ripping apart. First time reading into the book and it's ripping apart. Independent writers, please be careful. It's so heavy. And she said it's a lot of dialogue, so it'll read really fast. And she said she knew, she was very aware of the problem. The thing is, obviously, she's put it together and she's trying it out. And maybe her second books or the books that she does after this are going to be more compact, more reader friendly, because this is heavy, taking this around and then to open it up in the middle and it's just literally torn. And I haven't had this book that long and the pages are torn. So anyway, yeah, and yeah, so I'm not sure, but this is on my list to read this year. Now, will I finish it? I don't know. It depends on if the story is good and captivating. As far as that one paragraph, like, look at this page here. This is what I'm talking about. But she, like I said, she already knows. So it's not like I'm trying to dog anybody out. But you see how very spaced out that is? And it's very dialogue heavy. And I'm hiding my voice. I hope you heard me. But like this one page, be careful, Sid. Stay off your feet with baby. I know. I will, baby. Don't be wearing those high ass heels either. She laughed. I won't. I love you. I love you too. Talk to you later. All right, one. Chris was happy he was having a baby. He got dressed in all Versace. He walked out to Preemie, who was sitting on the table with his coffee and paper. I need you to take 2 packages to Overtown, one to Lauderdale, which is Florida. That's where I moved from. And this to the post office. All right. How your people doing in Little Haiti? They all right. I. Stop it. I don't know. My people tell me 2 people got busted last night. I'll see what's going on. That'll be your best bet. What you doing tonight? I might go see Nick. Okay. I'm not the best reader as far as reading out loud, but I, I, like 4 times I said I up in here. Okay. Now I understand, and some very high lit books do that, where the character for that person may say that one word in every response, but there is maybe a better way to set that up. And because I'm all up in the middle, maybe she did. But to just go here with it, let me turn off the cartel because I hear something. Yeah. So that little tiny bit of dialogue is why this book is so freaking heavy. So please watch it, independent writers. We love good looking books. This is a good looking book. I'm sorry. I know yeah, it's a little horrific. And then there's a baby up here. There's a baby up here. A baby. And a woman in a tub bleeding down here on this same page. And I know this happens in real life. And so it's obvious you're getting this street story smack dab in your face. Then you got the good looking guy on the back with the city street and the green flashy car with the respect on it, right? He's probably the one saying, all right, every 5 seconds. I don't know. But I'm listening to the Cartel. So I'm not judging the fact that it's urban literature. It's a big ass book. I cursed. And there's a kid on the front with a dead woman in a tub on the same page. Beautiful picture, beautiful artwork, but that might throw some people off and go, nah. And yeah, we love covers. Book lovers love good covers. That's all I'm saying. So no, I'm not doing this year to hash but I am going to do some critiquing this year with the 12 books that I purchased from independent writers. And yeah, nobody said it's going to be nice all the time. But anyway, and I'm not a negative person. I just know what I like. And would I buy a book from you again if you're coming at me with a book like that as soon as I open it up, it's so heavy that the pages are torn as if I've read that book 5 times. So no, don't do that. My book. Would I use the same people that printed my book? I would. I've had this book so god darn long, and my grandkids colored in it, and this page is kind of tearing up. But this is a poetry book. It's not heavy, It's even got my art in it. He put my art in it like I asked him to. That painting on the cover is over there. Now this is just my copy. The original one had the big painting on it, and this is dark. This is just my copy. But I was so happy that he put the typing was pretty cool for an actual poem, a poetry book, and it's not heavy. And I had a lot of poetry in here, and the content, like I told y'all last night, oh my gosh, I wish I could have taken some of that trash out. That's why I'm going to take the good stuff out and put it in with another collection of poetry and short stories, because I know my mess ups in here. And that was my thing. I sold them until I sold out, and I didn't get another order because I saw my failures in it. And I was very, very critical of that book. And I don't want that book out ever again until I comb it out. So that's all I'm saying. So now let me see what you guys are saying. We are at an hour and 35 minutes. I think we're done here. I think we're done here. We had a couple more books, but I think we're done. I have the whole week off where I don't have to talk to you guys. No, I'm just joking. I need to finish that painting. And actually, I need to finish a pair of earrings. Like I said earlier, I'm fulfilling an order for a customer, and I make several so that they can get a choice. So I've got one done. All I have to do is put this little hoopy thing on it, but it was giving me some problems in the way it was hanging, because I like to try them out. I like to hang them on a wire, make sure that they don't spin around and act all a fool and what have you. So I gotta go work that out with the earrings before I start painting, because if I start painting, I'm gonna get lost and it'll be the next day and the earrings won't be done. Actually, although one of them was done. So yeah, I'm really good, but I still want to get that second one done. And so that's kind of like an editing process with the book. So all you wonderful independent writers, which actually I was supposed to talk about tonight because I got the pages up again. Why am I not doing it? I'm going to go ahead and do it. Because if you're here and this is going to be recorded, and that way I can go ahead and get this done. The book I was going to talk about is Prelude to King. Prelude to King. And it's by Taja, Tajamaynie, on Goodreads. I clicked it to want to read. If you guys follow me on Goodreads, you'll be able to see it. But I got an email from the young lady, and it is available on Amazon.com. I will copy and paste it and put it, I think I put it on last night's chat. So if it's in the comments from last night, I believe. If not, I'll list it again on the comments when this recording is up and ready for me to leave messages. And so let me read a little bit of her synopsis. Her name is Tajamaynie, it looks like, Maynie. And it says it's $13.90 on Prime with Amazon.com. And it's got this funky art, and it looks really cool. It's like this black face with these pink lips and his big white eyes and this little tiny crown up here. So, and I went to go see if anybody was talking about it or chatting about it or gave a review. And I see, let's see here. I don't see any reviews. You guys could actually do this too, but I just kind of wanted to see this because I do want to make sure that we mention this. Prelude to King. It doesn't say Prelude to a King. I keep wanting to say that, but it's Prelude to King. $13.90. And let me see if I can click on it and actually read. This is 3 customer reviews, and it's got 5 stars all lit up. So we'll see, right? But I think, let's see here. I don't see there we go. Customer reviews, 5 stars. It says excellent read and verified purchase. 5 stars again. Prelude to a King has an enticing storyline and is so on and so forth and so on, and is a quick read. It says, I'm thoroughly impressed by Taja's soulful writing style. Her wisdom exudes through this book. And are those her friends? Is that her? No, I'm just joking. You know how you do. We as critical readers and just readers don't have to be critical. 100%, it says 5 stars. So we've got a few of those reviews, and what I'm looking for is the synopsis. Prelude to King is the introductory novel that showcases Taja. I hate that if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, but it looks like Taja Maney's enigmatic writing style and imagination in ways that will engage the senses of all readers. A short and sweet fairy tale that creates an engaging balance between one's present lifestyle and future aspirations. The story of Nanita and her loved ones evolves through varying perspectives. Varying perspectives, I like that already. So, yeah, free shipping if you get the Amazon or already have it. DJ has it, but I don't. It's crazy. I don't know why I don't have Amazon Prime. Only one household needs it. I just sign in under his when I'm on Amazon. So, anyway, she's been on YouTube for over 7 years. There's probably one in you scroll through her channel. Okay, so let me see what we're talking about here. I'm sorry, guys. Patrice says, I bet the second. Okay, that's where I was. And I read that. I'm just scrolling, you guys. If you are, there's 18 people on. Hi, how y'all doing? We are well over. Last night we went 2 hours and 1 minute. Not gonna do that tonight. So I got 20 minutes where I might be lying. I don't know. Maybe I'll just keep sitting here talking. But Rebecca D says, who would be another urban writer that is good? Another urban writer that is good? Let me turn around. I don't know, but you know what? I used to read loads of Eric Jerome Dickey, and at the time, there was a lot of relationship books, and then he went into some gangster stuff, and so I don't know. It could be urban lit. Let me see who else I got. I don't know. I don't know. We're going to talk about this some other time. I can't think of him right off. Oh, I've never read him, but I kind of want to read him, and it's Quan. He's huge, and he was down at the National Black Book Festival, and of course, all you got to do is look up urban lit and truly look into like people that you may follow on Goodreads if you are not a part of Goodreads, and then you start reading their reviews and kind of see if they kind of would read the type of stuff or just trust their reviews or what they're writing. That may help. But as far as like any good urban literature that just come right up, Donald Goines from way back in the day. My mother used to read Donald Goines. I only have one Donald Goines book, but this is old school urban lit. And then some urban literature that is nonfiction. Like one of my favorite books of all time is called Man Child in the Promised Land. My mother gave that to me, and it's Claude Brown, who has since passed away. But he's the writer. I remember reading that book. I think it was Cabrini Green Projects. Don't quote me because there was probably another. Could be. I done read a lot of like stories way back in the day because I'm old. Okay, so don't quote me. Anyway, Claude Brown, Man Child in the Promised Land. Now you're talking about fictional urban lit, but I would recommend Man Child in the Promised Land. It made me want to read every book by an African American male that had a story to tell, that came up and out of something, or the just kind of like rap was back in the day when they kind of felt like they were reporting the news and it was just all raw and real and this is how it is, that kind of a thing. So if you want to read something that's like real, and hey, poetry wise, urban lit, Tupac Shakur, beautiful urban literature, poetry. And so I would, and that's just me, I'd classify that because it's he covers so much. He's got such a good feeling about him. And I mean, you just can't go wrong with a Tupac poem. And then read his lyrics for his songs, very urban lit. And who else? Just right off the top of my head. And this is why it's urban lit is a lot of literature. You could read Langston Hughes and go, whoa, that's some serious urban poetry, urban literature right there. And but I can't think of a lot because again, I'm reading Ashley and Jaquavis, who are like at the top of their game in urban lit, and Quan, who I've never read, but he's got books all over the animal and all that. I never read them. So I might venture into him this year also. But the Cartel, after the Cartel, I got so many other books. I don't know. It's not like I'm reading a whole bunch of urban lit or only staying in one genre. African American writers are all, they cover everything, science fiction and everything, and nonfiction. I've got a lot of nonfiction that I want to get to this year. So I'll be reading a lot of that, but I would highly recommend, and I haven't read that book since I was a really young girl, but that book left an imprint on my head. And yeah, it made me read Nathan McCall, Makes Me Want to Holler. hmm And then he had another book, but I don't think it did as well as that one. So you can start there as well. But those are nonfiction, and but it's gritty, it's real, and it's raw. And some of the urban fiction lit could possibly be inspired by these men's true stories and tales. So anyway, with all that said, hi 20 people watching. You guys, it's an hour and 45 minutes, and you're still coming in. How you doing? And I also wanted to go to my email. I think that's the writer that I was talking about. Yep, Taja. And there was another one, and I don't want to sit here and scroll through my email, but I will look them up. And also, let me just go ahead and do this while I'm sitting here chatting, because I do want to look at your comments, and I do want to read them, and I do want to get caught up. I do. Yeah. So, okay. It's just going to take a while, I guess. So let me go ahead and go to your comments and see what you guys are saying. And I read that. I read that. I read that. You looking, who would be another? Okay, that's where I was. You talking about the portable promised land. I don't know. I don't know. Rebecca D says Omar Tyree. Is he urban lit? Carl Weber. Is he urban lit? Kiki Swinson. I've never heard of her. Vicky M. Stringer. So is Omar Tyree urban lit? I only have one book, and it's not even mine. It's Tasha's. I have Fly Girl. And somebody said they didn't like that, but that's supposed to be a really big book of his. And he was actually at the National Black Book Festival too, but I didn't get to meet him because I didn't go that year. So they have a lot of big names that go there. And Carl Reber, I think, has been there. Um, but I do have his books. And so The Preacher's Son, was that urban lit? Yeah, I guess. That was what Kay said. A bunch of nonsensical foolishness, but it was fun. It was entertaining as heck. Um, so what constitutes urban lit? And then I've never heard of Kiki, so I'll be looking her up, Helen, and also Vicky. I hit something, or either somebody saying something, it just scrolled up again. And let me see here. As the other Touré book. Oh, was that it? Portable Promised Land? I think it might have been. I know it was just weird, Toddy. Oh my God, it was so weird. I did not like it. And you know what? I remember the cover was like a weird painting. And I think it might have been because I knew him from TV and the musical TV stuff, and then seeing this like crazy weird painting. I was like, I'm here for it. I want to read this. And I was like, what is this mess? I couldn't take it. I couldn't. And then Run Right Reed says, I actually like both selections. The first one set a realistic urban scene, and that's about um, Miss Renee, Tisha Renee. And Helen says, I couldn't handle Wahida Clark, laugh out loud, but every time I search for a new book, she pops up. Don't you hate that when you're like, okay, I'm trying to stay away from you and stop popping up? Another one that used to, I read one of her books and I was like, oh, I can't do it. Zane, I don't know, maybe it got better, but I read The Heat Seekers, and maybe that wasn't where I should have started out with. This was like umpteen years ago. And I read The Heat Seekers, and it was kind of this sexiness going on in the book. But there was a part in there where these little midgets popped out. I was like, I'm done. I can't take it. No, and it was not anything bad against midgets or anything like that. It was just, it was over the top. It was like, I can't do this. And then somebody told me to read Addicted and whatever. And then there was some movie, that she has out, or movies that were being made after her books that were coming on television late at night. And I tried to watch one, and I couldn't. Yeah, I'm good. I'll stick with the Cartel. It's exciting. Flower Child, hi. She says she's new here. So happy to have found you. Do you have an intro video where you introduce yourself, etc.? Anyone who can answer, I would appreciate it. Flower Child, I've had so many intro videos, and I'm really bad at like self promotion where I should do like this perfect intro video. The one that I've chosen, I'm sitting there talking about my art and whatever. It's a video that I just chose that just to put up there, and so that gives you a gist of who I am. But there's a I don't know. I really don't have a like a welcome, this is what my channel is all about. So basically the reason why I go live is because I did a September, which is Vlogtimber anywhere on YouTube, no matter if it's Booktube or hair care channels, beauty channels, or whatever. People do Vlogtimber where they do a video every single month. And so I had been inspired by Michael Reed's, because he was doing Vlogtimber, and I was watching his videos every single day, and I was like, I want to do that this year. Usually what I used to do was February was my month that I used to do a video every single day of the month for Black History Month, and I stopped doing that. I missed the boat this time because I got sick on a Friday and I called out to work. I was at home. I was not feeling well, and so no video went up. So since I missed that one day, I was like, no, I'm not going to do it every day this year. And so those videos are still up. Some of them are, a lot of my old videos are on private, and I've been trying to work on them to get them back up. But this channel is a booktube channel mainly, but it is art because I'm an artist. It's about books because that's a passion of mine, and it's about my life. So I talk about everything. We talked about the Cosby Show yesterday. We talked about art. We talked about books mainly. Um, so Friday and Saturday, or Saturday and Sunday, I go live because of the Vlogtimber. I got tired of editing videos. I got so much stuff on my laptop, so much stuff, Flower Child, on my laptop that it said, no, you need to take some stuff off of there. It didn't talk to me like that, but you know what I'm saying. So anyway, I just, I didn't want to lose a lot of stuff, and I got those little things that my son gave me so I can, the cards and whatever, and I've been backing up stuff left and right, and I still have so much stuff that the little pop-up comes up and says, that I need to take some things off, and I want that stuff to make some sort of documentary. So that's why I'm not getting rid of it, and I don't have the time to sit here and do that, or I would never get anything read, or I would never get anything painted, or create my earrings, or get back to sewing my dolls, or any of the art, books, and life type of things that I like to do if I'm sitting here just editing videos, which took up a lot of my time after work. I would come home, let me edit this video so it can go up, especially when I would do a video every single month for a Vlogtimber or for a February. It was very time consuming, and my reading was slacking. I was like, I'm supposed to be talking about books, and I'm sitting up here editing about one book that I read this, last week. I should be on book number 2 for this week, what have you. And so no. That's a long-winded question, but welcome to my channel. This is what I do. I talk a lot. And yeah, that's what we do. We just love to chat. Book lovers love to talk to book lovers that talk to other book lovers. That's on an old video of mine. I said that. Anyway, but thank you so much, Flower Child. And she says, peace. And she's been on YouTube for over 7 years, since October 2006. I got that email from YouTube. Congratulations, blah, blah, blah. You had 1,000 subscribers. You've been on, that kind of a thing. So I thought it was like, shorter than that, but I started my channel, and there's an old video about that. Actually, there's the booktuber tags. That's what will answer a lot of questions about any booktubers, the booktube or newbie tags, which I haven't done one of those in a long time, but I did one a long time ago, and I think it's not on private. I think it's still up. I don't know. So Toddy says there's a lot on the cover. Yeah, laugh out loud. You think that's a big book, but that's a normal size book for me. Exactly, but when you open it up, it shouldn't be that big. The Marlon James book, the one I haven't finished yet, that should be that big because it's heavy and it's good, and and the writing is all, it fills up the whole page. There are like 10 sentences on one page and you flip, and so it's very heavy, and then it just broke. So yeah. And whether it's, like Wally Lamb's book, it's almost a 900-page book. That's one of my favorite books, and it's not broke. And so it just, I don't know. But she, like I said, she already knew that, and she was talking to me about that. And I still bought the book, and I paid $20 for it. So anyway, oh, see, I just lost it. It scrolls, so somebody's chatting and it moved it. Okay, I got it. I'm gonna hold it down. Flower Child says, thank you, Musical Toddy. I had no idea. So happy she was recommended to me. Oh, who recommended? Miss Flower Child. Does she live stream a lot? I'm right here. Hey! Actually, I'm just messing with you. But yes, ma'am. This is what I do. Actually read your comments so that you can actually talk to me. No, but I see why y'all talking to Toddy and KT also, because questions do. I'm just messing with you, seriously. It's just who I am. But Tati and KT will answer other people's questions. They are the moderators in the chat room, and so they have not like I'm some, that I need these, like, the some assistance or something. But if they went live, I would do the same thing for them, is what I'm saying. So yeah, they will definitely happily answer your questions, or anybody that's in the chat room. You guys can chat and talk, because I'm supposed to be talking, right? But just to let you know, I am reading your comments, and so that was just kind of weird to. Have you guys seen? What was it? Rockaletta Moss. I'm sorry, I'm talking about Spike Lee again, but when she keeps referring to herself in the third person, it just makes me laugh, and it's so good. It's so good. I love that show. But anyway, so Flower Child, do you have a Booktube channel? And also, what are you currently reading, if you don't mind letting us know? And so do I stream a lot, to answer the question if nobody has yet? Because again, I'm on lag. 2 times a week. I keep wanting to say I'll maybe do a live in the middle of the week, but by the time I get home from work and start doing some sort of artsy thing or cleaning up or whatever, I either miss my time slot, and I'm like, nah, I'm not going on this late. So I usually just stand up there and paint and make a recorded video for my other channel. So anyway, Run Right Reads. Karen says, hey, Flower Child, welcome to Denise's world, where we all visit to share the weekend with her. You're going to love hanging out here. Oh, thank you. So sweet. So sweet, so sweet. But yes, Flower Child, that's such a cool name. Yes, 2 to 3 times a week, says Toddy. And Karen says, Denise has a live stream on Saturdays. Okay, so I'm reading about myself. That's just so weird. So I'm going to scroll down past all of that. And Randy Park says, I have it, Amazon Prime. Yes. Hi, Randy. You're talking to me. You should be, because you bought me a ring and everything on the internet. But anyway, so you have Amazon Prime, and DJ has it, and we love it because then you don't have to pay the shipping and handling. But I remember one time I bought something from Amazon, and I clicked on it, and it was a Prime thing, and then they took out $100. I was like, what? And I called them on customer service. In 2 days, my money was back in my account. So they're very good, and they're very quick about it. But we already have one in the household, so why we need two? We don't. And I told her that, I'm not going to pay for a second one in the household. He's got a laptop, I got a laptop, just have him sign in or whatever. She was cool with it, and they gave me my money back. And so Stephanie Bridges, hi Stephanie again. She says, hi everybody. Hi Stephanie, Musical Toddy says, and it's just going on and on. I'm trying to collect Donald Goines books. I have one. I'm telling you, my mother, she had them lined up. Them some hardcore ones though. I still haven't to this day read the one that I own. And I just seriously was a buy just because I remember my mother reading that. But she read some of everything, kind of like I do. I'm not sure if she ever read romance, so we might have that in common. But I did buy Geneva Holiday, which I already showed you guys, and so I did want to read something else, but we'll do that another time because this is already 2 hours. And let's see here. Yes, Vicky Stringer, Dirty Red, says KT, and Comfy Cozy Up. Yes, Fly Girl. So Fly Girl, and Dirty Red by Vicky Stringer. Those are Urban Lit. And Helen says she's laughing at Zane. I have read all of Zane's books. Laugh aloud. Okay, so Helen, then you're the person I need to talk to you about Zane, because The Heat Seekers was the first and only one I read. But I'm telling you, it was almost like it was trying to be hot and heavy, and then that whole little midget element. I don't know if it was because the way she wrote it, but I bust out laughing. I was like, I can't do this. But I've always heard that Addicted is supposed to be really good. And then I think when they came out with some sort of show, like I was saying at night, this kind of thing would come on, and I was like, nah, I can't do that. But I don't know. So let me know if Addicted is worth the read. And that's what I want to know. And Musical Toddy says, I've read a lot of Zane's books. The Mandigo Little People. Is that what they were? Because I just remember like these little, I was like, what is this? What am I reading? I just couldn't do it. And Zane and Mary B. Morrison are both over the top. And I have a Mary B. Morrison book. I do. I remember that name. I just have one, and I haven't read it yet. So Helen says she's laughing at Musical Toddy. And Randy Parks, Randy, you said you like Zane. Okay, what's your favorite Zane book? Tell me, you guys. And like I said, there's some lag, so you guys might have already answered, so I'm gonna keep on scrolling down. But Musical Toddy says, I haven't read any Mary B. Morrison's. Wow, can't remember the last book I read of hers, and it was before Red Light Wives. Hold on. No, wait a minute. I thought that was Miss Monroe. Because I got a Red Light Wives book, but I thought that it's not Mary B. Morrison. I thought it was what's the one that wrote God Don't Like Ugly and all that. I think I put them in there. No? Oops. Yeah. This is okay. Mary Monroe. I have one where I think I have one that says Red Light Wives, but I thought it was Mary Monroe, not Mary Morrison. So I can't wait to read these. So still haven't read them. I've been holding on these things for years. And my friend, I think I told you guys this before, but when my friend, who's actually my cousin, one of my best friends, her name is Denise also, and she read both of them, and she was like, girl. I'm sorry, now I'm gonna get a funny bone because y'all gonna have me looking at books and stuff. But anyway, I want to read them, and I love the pictures, the painterly. I met her. Remember, we talked about her already, and how when she was at the National Black Book Festival, and we're sitting in there, and she's giving her discourse and talking about her books and how she got to writing, and how she would just sit and talk to family members at the the dining room table, and she's like, "Oh, really? And then what happened?" She said, and then she said her family members or somebody, or cousins or whatever, would say, I want to be in your next book. And she was like, they just don't know. They've been in books. She's been writing about them for years, but she's making it all fictitious and what have you. And she said, obviously they wanted to be in her books or something, don't quote me, but it was almost like they wanted to be in her books, but they wasn't reading them to figure out that this is who she's talking about. I'm talking about you, kind of a thing. But she had one story after another, and I'm thinking, I got all her books at home. I got at least 5 of them. Haven't read a one, but meeting her made me want to read them. So definitely going to read her this year for the Reading Blackout. That woman was funny as heck. I'm sorry. I bet her books are hilarious. It just seems like they are, because she in real life was just fun to listen to. Man, story upon story. And so I used to read it. Okay, that's where I was. I like Diamia S. Poole. See, I'm glad I'm getting these names, because again, I'll be copying and pasting this. Helen says, me too. After following her on Facebook and seeing just how wild she is, I sort of look at her in a different light. Won't that hurt? No, let me stop. Yeah, anyway, you need a portable hard drive. That's what I probably do. Yeah, Toddy. My brother got me one a few years ago, and it's been a lifesaver. I'm probably going to need another one by the end of the year. I read a book by Damala Poole and haven't read her since. Didn't like it, says Toddy, and she's laughing. Yes, she is. So let me go down. Oh my goodness. Bye, KT says she's saying good night. Hey Najiri. I'm reading Toddy. It says, hey Najiri, mine is about 11% right now. Hi, my phone is going dead soon. It's okay, fam. At least read Addicted. Okay, so KT says at least read Addicted by Zane. We're still talking about Zane. And I think, well, the thing is, I know I'm not going to buy it. I might look it up at the library and maybe I'll get the audiobook so so I can listen to it while I paint, because I just, after reading the Heat Seekers, I was like, maybe it's just where I was at the time, because like I said, I used to read a lot of nonfiction, and Booktube does mess with your reading habits. If you are in the chat room and you do not have a Booktube channel and you are thinking about getting one, but you love reading your 100 books a month, or year rather, Booktube will knock it down to 60 to 50 because you're gonna be doing this, and I could have finished a book. But it's fun. It's fun hooking up with like-minded people, other bibliophiles. And so I'm gonna go because I talked enough, and this video is hecka long. So for the last 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, I've gone over 2 hours. Tonight is 2 hours and 5 minutes and counting. So I appreciate you guys for being here and chatting with me. This was fun. Pita, Zane might be too much for Denise. Hey, let me tell you, I don't think, okay, first of all, let me try to defend myself, because I don't think it's gonna be too much. I said Donald Goines. I've read Donald Goines. Plus, I mean, look at all the literary reads. I mean, they got some stuff in there. I mean, there's all kind of stuff happening in so-called high literary books. I mean, some stuff be going down, is all I'm saying. And I'm listening to the Cartel, okay? So if Zane is worse than the Cartel as far as sex and violence, then I can handle it. But I still don't want it to be so over the top that it's like stupid, like little midgets. And it's just the way she wrote them. And not that there's, again, I mean, look at Games of Thrones. I'm not trying to, oh my God, y'all put me in this place where I sound like I'm judging, but I'm not. I'm listening to the Cartel. And if that is too much, because I think it's too much for some of y'all. That's why I said earlier, I would not recommend that series to people that are on a certain path spiritually. You don't want that messed with at all. And I'm not trying to be funny here, but I would not recommend that to, for that purpose, because it's violence. You're rooting for murderers and drug dealers, and families are killing families. And this is highly entertaining. Something wrong with that, right? But if I can handle, and then, okay, come on, Anne Rice, you're talking about vampires, and there are people that don't want to read this because of that, and then you look at some of the things that are going on in those books. Rapes are happening. So books cover all kind of stuff. If I can handle Deuteronomy in the Bible with all the wars, which is, ooh, that could make me feel like, oh my gosh, it's a heavy weight. And then read something as beautiful as Song of Solomon, biblically, and my favorite Toni Morrison book. But things go down. The Bluest Eye, look what goes down in The Bluest Eye. And if I can handle that, I can handle anything, because that was hardcore. Yeah. And yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to bid you guys adieu. I appreciate you being here and talking to me and making me run amok. Those of you who are listening and painting and crafting and doing all sorts of things, somebody said that they are exercising while they are listening to me like a podcast. No, there's no technical difficulties. If you could see me, you would see it. I'm acting a goddamn fool right now. Anyway, I love you guys. I appreciate you for being here. I am going to make sure I don't close this out so I can actually copy and paste what you are saying. That way I can go back and look and see what I missed. And then I can also go to my Goodreads at some point this week and make sure that I click on some of those new authors that you guys are giving us. So thanks for all the recommendations for, I believe Helen asked for some things. Maybe was it Helen? And Flower Child. Thank you so much for being here. To all the new people, thanks Randy for participating. Thanks Pita, Stephanie. Thanks Run Right Reads. Thanks Musical Toddy and KT and everyone. And hello Denise Rader. Hello Nicole. Hello. 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 And we're done. I'm going to stop scrolling because I'm actually trying to copy it right now. We are at 2 hours and 10 minutes and there are still 17 people. What's really good. Good night. I thank y'all. Good night, everyone. Good night, everyone. Love y'all all. Thanks, Rebecca. Love you too. Song of Solomon is beautiful. Kia Dene. That's yeah. It's so easily to get wrapped up in Song of Solomon and Beloved, and Song of Solomon is on my list for my second read since I did my second read of Beloved last year. Also, what's beautiful, well, one of my favorites of all time, because I got a picture of the woman on my nightstand, Alice Walker's The Temple of My Familiar. I'm going to read that this year for the second time. Some books are just rereadable. You need it in your life. And especially if it's been over 10 years since I read that book. Okay, it's time. It's time to revisit. And so these are some of the books and recommendations, or actually not just recommendations, because just some of the books that I had that I didn't get to tonight. And I met these young lady, or one of them, and they have a website, and I think we talked about it, BGB, which is Brown Girl Books, and it's ran by Rashonda Tate Billingsley and Victoria Christopher Murphy. But this one, Rashonda Tate Billingsley, wrote this one with a writer named Rochelle Denise. And I think I got this one signed. Yep, she signed it for me down at the National Black Book Festival. Miss Rashonda Tate Billingsley was there. Rochelle Denise was not. And they are funny. Victoria Christopher Murphy and Rashonda Tate Billingsley, you could tell they're best friends and been friends forever. When you go to their website, it's the picture of the two of them on there, but they give a really good writer conference. I'm telling you, Karen, Run Right Reads, if you get a chance to ever see those two ladies give any type of writer conferences to new independent writers like yourself, please go. I learned a lot. A lot of people were there to listen to their stories and how they go back and forth and write books together and branch out and collaborate. Collaboration, as I say, is inspiration. And I love that. So this is called Payday. And at first I was like, I'm just buying it because they're there, but this was on my Blackout bookshelf, so I'll be reading that. Bam! I hit a CD. Hope I didn't break it. I'll be buying that from the library. Bye, you guys. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. And we are out. Johnny, take us home. I can't wait to get to my book, Karen. Bye, guys. 14 people. What do you want? You want me to cook dinner? Because I can cook. I got some collard greens, some cornbread. I don't even have any meat because I don't buy meat. And not that I don't eat it from time to time, but I'm trying to transition. But I ain't got nothing for you. It's late at night. It's 8:12. I got nothing. But I love you for being here. It went from 14 to 16 people. If you are just now joining and you hear the John Coltrane, it is time for me to get into my painter clothes and do the same thing. Bye, guys.